What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today I'm back to talk about Warhammer 40k. In previous videos, we've talked about the leaks, the spoilers for the second to the last book of the Siege of Terra novels, The End and The Death. And man, were there some crazy reveals there. So I'll link the video so you guys can check it out, but I did want to cover one more thing that was spoiled for us before the book actually releases and we're able to indulge it and read it for ourselves, and that is the reveal of what the Terminus Decree is. Now, the Terminus Decree is something that I've been speculating for years because it revolves around one of my favorite Space Marine chapters, the Grey Knights. Now, the Grey Knights were essentially created by Malcador to fight fire with fire, to take on chaos by using psychically powerful warriors. And they had a secret. They had a apocalyptic resort available to them when all the other options have been extinguished, and that was the Terminus Decree. And for years, the speculation just continued. What could it be? What is this, like Pandora's box? And finally, we have an answer to that question. So if you guys do not want to get spoiled, if you do not want to know what the Terminus Decree is, this is your last warning. You know, get away from this video because it is revealed what the Terminus Decree is. So, last warning, guys, let's go ahead into spoiler territory and find out what the Terminus Decree is. But before that, I do want to say that there have been a bunch of theories out there as to what it could be. Some people thought it was a self-destruction button for Terra and the Golden Throne, where if the Chaos worshippers got to Terra and managed to get to the throne, you would push this detonation device, and if the loyalists couldn't have it, no one would. Other people thought that maybe this was a device that would kill the Emperor so that he could come back, since he is a perpetual, and be able to reclaim humanity against the fight for chaos. I personally thought it was a way to basically make the Emperor ascend to a god. Well, it turns out all that was incorrect. Let's go ahead and find out. So the spoilers, the leaks say that Malcador has just taken on the Emperor's place upon the Golden Throne, and for his last act, he has sent off literal mind dumps of information and instructions to his chosen. One of these, named Hassan, is charged with overseeing several key plans of the Sigillite. One of these plans is codenamed Terminus. Now, at the same time, the custodians are bringing out ancient forbidden devices from the dark cells underneath the Imperial Palace, in preparation for the Emperor's assault on the vengeful spirit and Horus. Immediately after thinking of this Terminus-tagged order, Hassan goes to confront the custodian overseeing the dark cells, and he pulls rank on him by revealing that he was entrusted with the custodian's full 500-word name, signifying the highest of authority. Hassan then reveals that the Sigillite had learned and has shared with Hassan about a contingency plan set in motion by none other than Constantine Valdor, the Captain General of the Adeptus Custodes. Valdor has saved a certain figure, Basilio Foe, who was a gifted geneticist who had turned against the Emperor in ancient times. The Emperor then ordered him to construct a vial, a weapon capable of targeting and destroying the Astarte gene templates, a weapon that could scour the galaxy of Space Marines, both loyalists and traitors, and ultimately eradicate them from this universe. That is insane. We have essentially a virus weapon, a biological agent that is capable of finding out and separating Space Marine from other warrior and just taking them out just like that. Now, it doesn't say exactly how they're killed, if it's literally just them getting some type of virus, or maybe it's like a Thanos snap where they just turn to dust, but it's pretty crazy. Not just that, but it also is like this, it is a galaxy defining event, and it's something that I'm pretty sure GW will never actually utilize, considering how popular Space Marines are on the actual tabletop game. There's no way they're going to get rid of their best and most profitable asset to the Space Marines, the Primaris Marines, and at that, a whole faction of Chaos Space Marines as well. That's just not going to happen. But to know that this is the failsafe, this is the Terminus Decree, that, you know, if everything goes to crap, you essentially put the reset button on Space Marines, that's pretty crazy. And for something of this nature to be given to another Space Marine chapter, the Grey Knights, they know that their sacrifice won't be in vain. They know that to do and follow the Emperor's orders means to put your life on the line. And they're ready to do that. So that is pretty crazy. I would have never guessed that it would have been a essentially agent, biological agent, a genetic means to just go ahead and set the blank slate for Space Marines. And not just that, it just won't kill all of them. It targets gene seed. So all these gene labs, all these gene seed implantations, and the means to create Space Marines will be no more. So not only does it kill Space Marines, but it limits them from creating any more. That's huge, that's crazy, and that's not the end of it. The leaks continue on. It says that Valdor has kept this weapon in reserve and in secret. In previous chapters from Malcador's point of view, we are told that this action signifies Valdor starting to take matters into his own hands, as the Emperor has granted him more mental autonomy in order for him to discharge his duties, and also to recompensate for his long service. So this also reveals that the Emperor does indeed have psychic locks on the Custodes. That might be why they're also unable to go against the Emperor's orders, or to think fully for themselves and just be essentially nigh unstoppable bodyguards. So he removed this limit from Constantine Valdor and essentially has given him more free will. So that's also another pretty important piece of lore, and it also kind of explains why he's taken certain actions, and spoiler alert, well, another spoiler alert, why he's been doing the things he has been doing as the Yellow King. So that's a whole nother video in and of itself. Continuing on with the leaks, we say that Hassan tells the custodian that he's been talking with that the Sigillite knows about the anti-Astartes weapon, and so does the Emperor, and that the Emperor wishes that this weapon be held in reserve and deemed a Terminus sanction. Basilio Foe, who is the geneticist that created this, is also to be kept safe and ready to be employed as needed. The deployment of the weapon is to be overseen by the Sigillites chosen, if and when the time comes. So not just that, but the geneticist that created this awesome destructive weapon has been put in stasis underneath the Imperial Palace in one of the dark cells. Now the dark cells hold a slew of like ancient technology, you know, prisoners of utmost danger, and there's even a special cell called cell number 11 that a lot of people are thinking, rumored, guessing, theorizing that perhaps it holds the 11th Primarch. So once we find out what's within these cells, it's literally galaxy changing. Like, we have a geneticist that is capable of destroying Space Marines. We potentially have weapons of mass destruction in there, and even a Primarch. So what else could be found within these dark cells? Like, oh man, it's just, you know, you get a question answered and then a whole bunch more questions get, you know, stemmed from this. So it's really awesome to see. So let's go ahead and cover all our bases. The Terminus Decree is an Emperor-sanctioned, Malcador-planned protocol that unleashes a genetic weapon capable of destroying all Astartes and their gene templates. The weapon was devised by Basilio Foe under the auspices of Valdor. The Sigillite spy rings learned of this, and the Sigillite ultimately claimed authority over its control. After his death, his organization is then charged with enacting the Terminus sanction under pre-specified conditions. Eventually, this sanction takes the form of the Terminus Decree, and it is entrusted to the Grey Knights, who are the direct descendants of Malcador's organization and incorruptible by chaos. This is true. We have seen this in the most recent of lore during the Arcs of Omen, when the murder curse, which is a literal curse put on a certain section of the galaxy by none other than the Chaos God Khorne himself. Like, it plagued everybody. Astartes, Sisters of Battle, everybody except for the Grey Knights, the Sisters of Silence, and the Adeptus Custodes. Continuing on, it says, if most of the extreme conditions should befall the Imperium, they will unleash the weapon and destroy all Astartes at a genetic level, as well as making it impossible to create more. From the nature of the weapon, we can surmise that the conditions of activation have to deal with the Astartes posing an existential threat to humanity, to the point that their complete destruction is preferable. Either a second heresy, or Chaos Space Marines coming so close to victory that destroying them is worth destroying all the remaining loyalists, Astartes as well. So boom, the bomb has been dropped, the lore has been set, the questions have been answered. Now I have one huge question, and it is, why isn't Nurgle aware of this? If a single geneticist is capable of creating this weapon of mass destruction, this gene-altering virus or whatever, why hasn't Nurgle come up with it? I mean, Nurgle has created the God Blight, which was essentially a virus that is capable of bringing down even a Primarch. Is this something similar to what has been created here through the Terminus Decree? Is this something that Nurgle has in his back pocket and he won't use because that would mean that the legions of his Death Guard will also befall and be no more? I don't know, it's just a lot of things to ponder and question, so that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. Such a huge reveal. I'm really excited to get the book. I've got it pre-ordered. I can't wait to finally grab it in my hands and read word for word what exactly is going on here, and oh man, it's just so epic. So if you guys want more lore being talked about for both the Horus Heresy, the Siege of Terra, and forwards into the 42nd millennium, be sure to stay subscribed here. If you do like what we do here at One Mind Syndicate, a super thanks would be welcome. If not, just like, comment, share, etc. And we also do have a Patreon page, so you guys can support us there. A simple $1 a month goes a long way in helping us bring you videos just like this one. So, as always guys, thank you for watching, and it's been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.